Now that we have a set created for a client, we have some images uploaded, we have some setting options for each set. So we can click on the set that we want to set our options for. And under Settings tab, you're going to see that you have the ability to add a password. And if you come to what we have as the splash wall, you're going to see things like login and view slideshow or just view slideshow. If it says login and view slideshow, the password is set. Now if we go back to the admin, you're going to see that we have the ability to assign a date for this set to expire on. So if I want to assign a date, I just click the assign a date and I go ahead and pick a time and a day, and it'll expire at that time. You also have the ability to add a photo cart link. So if you add a photo cart link, you type in http:// and you put in the link to your photo cart. And if you go ahead and save that and you go to your set, you're actually going to see a little photo cart link appear in the toolbar. And so you'll see it right there. And that link will actually take you over to your photo cart. Then we have some options like turn on favorites, enable watermarking, use global soundtrack, include on the gallery wall, and pin to the top of the gallery wall. Well, turning on favorites will go ahead, I'm going to refresh this, and I'm going to show you what that's going to do. It's going to turn on the ability for people to flag their favorites. So now we have this little toolbar down here that are the favorites, and every time I see an image that I like, if I just click the thumbs up, it's going to go ahead and save it, and I have 1 there. And if I come to the next image and I save this one, it'll be 2, and then the client can go ahead and click send now, and they can go ahead and put in their information, and it has the list of the images, and it'll send that information to you via email. The enable watermarking, you could set up the watermarking in another area. We cover that in another section of our documentation. To use the global soundtrack, we cover in another area of the documentation. Include on the gallery wall. This is the gallery wall that we have currently. We don't have a bunch of sets in there, so it just has the one. We have some options in here on how you want to include it. So if we include it on there, we could pin it to the top of the gallery wall so that people can see it right away, so if it's a new one. And we also have the ability to upload an image to display. So I'm going to go ahead and pick an image, and it's going to go ahead and once I click save, it'll go ahead and add that image to the gallery wall. So when a family comes, they could actually pick out their set really quickly in a gallery wall that would look something like this. Okay, so let's talk about some of the options you have once you set up a client set. And so we have the client set Smith family set up, and I'm going to click on that, and it's going to reveal some tabs across here. We already added images to this set, and we're going to go over some of these tabs, settings and customize. So in the settings tab, some things that you're going to want to note is that you can add a password here. So you can type a password, and that'll be the password that they have to enter the actual set. You can set up an expiration date, so you can turn that off or you could turn that on, and you can pick a date. You can add a photo cart link, just type in the HTTP and the www, and it'll go ahead and it'll create that cart button that you'll see down here that'll link them over to that cart. And then you have options like turn on favorites. So if you want them to be able to flag their favorites, you mark this as true. If you want to enable watermarking, you can do that. If you want to use the global music soundtrack, you can turn that on. If you've uploaded music to this set, you can go ahead and turn that off so it uses the tracks from this set, and we cover that in some other documentation. You can include it on the gallery wall, and the gallery wall is going to look a little something like this. And if you have more sets, it'll actually fill up and there'll be more throughout here. And if you add this image here, it's going to appear here next to the set. So if they want to enter this slideshow, they can just click View Slideshow. And then you have the option to pin it to the top of the gallery wall. So if it's a new client and you want to pin it to the top so they can find it real quick, they can do that, and you can pin it right there. And then the last item is with this set, if I want to start creating an email list for these clients, I can go ahead and type in, jim@test.com, comma, and then I can go ahead and put jane@test.com, and I can create a list for the ability to blast them out some information later. So you can go ahead and do that and click save. And then I have the ability to customize a few things. So I can override global settings. So if I want to change up like the things like music and stuff like that, I come in here and I mark this to true so I can use the music here and it doesn't default to the global music. I can auto hide the toolbar, and I can loop the soundtrack, loop the slideshow. So when any of the music or the images end, it just starts back to the beginning. Or if I just want it to end, I can just go ahead and come in here and click false. And then we have show thumbnail tooltips. If you were to come in here and roll over any of these images, you can turn on the thumbnail tooltips. So I'm going to do that and save it. Refresh this, and you'll see that it'll show the image names. So when I roll over, it has the image name right there. And then I have the transition effects. So right now we have the classic fade, and you have a few different options here. You can slide left to right. So let me just pick a couple of these. I'll click slide left to right and click save, and we'll refresh this. And you'll see that it'll change the transition from how the image moves from the first to the second image, and so on. And so now it's going to actually slide once we transition. And so that's a slide effect. So you can come in here and play with these different effects. And then the effect duration and slide duration are the time that the effect takes to actually transition, and how long the slide is actually the image is up on the screen. So we have the image up for 5 seconds, and it takes 2 seconds for the transition to happen. And then you can choose to crossfade the images or not. And those are some of the options that you have for each specific set. So I hope that was informative and kind of got you through those two tabs. Thanks for watching.